Hey, everybody, PTA families, caregivers, and everyone out there in Hillsborough County. We are so thankful for all of you joining us again for another amazing Thursday night. And we just continue to be so fortunate to have wonderful guests who allow us their time. And tonight, again, we bring you Representative Fentrice Driskell, who is part of my area. So I'm excited to have her on there as well. And as you see, we have Alicia Oates and Amy Marie Granger Welch. So we have about 30 minutes of our representatives' time. So we are going to go right to it and make sure that we utilize that as much as possible. So Ms. Driskell, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're excited to have you. We are honored to have you as well. We know you're very, very busy. I wanted to start out with a couple things to let everybody know not only who you are, but what you've done. You have an amazing list of accomplishments already, and half the words that you've done I can't even say, so I'm going to try. Not stalking you, but I did do some research, and you are a Harvard graduate as well as a Georgetown graduate. Big basketball fan, so I know who Georgetown was. Harvard, amazing as well. That speaks for itself. You did grow up in Florida. Was it Winter Park or Winter Haven?
I was born in Winter Haven, but I grew up in Lakeland.
Okay, all right, so not too far from there. And now you reside in North Tampa, is that correct?
That's right.
All right, so very, very good. So real quick, before we get to anything else, did you ever envision yourself being in Tallahassee? Was this something that you had thought about?
Well, actually, yes. And so I'll tell you because you all care so. First of all, thank you so much for having me tonight. And this really is the miracle of Zoom. I know that COVID-19 has brought us a lot of hardship, and I would never make light of that. But yet I'm grateful for technology that tries to at least keep us still connected. Because if it weren't for this technology, I mean, we're in the midst of legislative session. I don't think I would have been able to do this. So I'm very grateful to be able to be here with you tonight. As we are, like I said, in the midst of session, we're just wrapping up our second week here of a 60-day stint. So, but yes, I did, and you have such passion for children and for public education. So when I was a young girl, I participated in the Florida Girls State program the summer between my junior and senior years of high school. And that's where you get to go. There were 300 high school seniors, female. We descended upon the state's capital, stayed at the dorms at Florida State, learned about government at every level. We had mock elections. I was elected governor of Girl State, and I was absolutely hooked. So I decided at the age of 17 that I would run for office. And it was because of a youth program that my AP government and economics teacher had encouraged me to apply to. Because he saw my potential, and he kind of walked me through that process and pushed me out of my comfort zone. And that experience as a youth gave me a vision to run for office later. So it's actually a part of a continuum in my life that I'm here in Tallahassee now.
That's awesome. And Alicia, I have a questions in front of me, but you jump in at any point, okay? I don't ever want to take over. A couple other questions. I noticed that you are passionate about reading and cooking. Two things that you mentioned. So I got to ask you, what are you reading now, and what's your favorite dish?
Thank you. So right now I'm reading A Promised Land by President Barack Obama, former president. And I'm actually, can I count that as reading? I'm listening to the audiobook because I think audiobooks are quite fun, especially when the author reads them. And it's, the author, somebody who you really respect, and he makes it so engaging. So, so I'm really enjoying that book, even though a copy of the book does sit on my coffee table, just so for all the kids who are sitting out there, you do need to actually pick up a book and read as well. It's beneficial. And then my favorite dish, I really do love to cook. I do brunch really well. I mean, my brunch is out of this world. My French toast, the eggs, the bacon, the biscuits from scratch, the hash brown casserole. Last week, though, I tried a new recipe for chicken piccata that actually was really good, too.
All right. Those sound really, really good. I'm starving already, so it's even worse. So
it does sound
a couple of citations and awards you won, and it is a laundry list. So I picked out a few that were really neat. You won the Pro Bono Hero Award, for pro bono work, the up and comer for Tampa Bay Business Journal, and my favorite, the Mentor of the Year back in 2012. I thought those were amazing. And I wanted people to hear that and know the type of work that you're doing behind the scenes that sometimes others don't get to hear. And you were, I'm not sure if you are anymore, but you were a practicing attorney and litigator, and it sounds like you enjoyed that.
Still am. I still am. That's what's crazy about this. This legislative thing is technically a part-time job, although it doesn't feel like it if you do it right.
So, and then finally, and then I'm going to let Alicia kind of take over. I have some other stuff, but you are part of or you're the Democratic Ranking Committee member for the Judiciary Committee, Pandemics and Public Emergencies Committee, Healthcare Appropriations Subcommittee, and Insurance and Banking Subcommittee. So as you see, I stumbled over some of those words that were way past my education. Amazing stuff that you're doing. I can't imagine you staying, having 5 minutes for yourself, but we are so thankful that you have put yourself out there for those committees and the work that you're doing.
It's my pleasure. It's absolutely my pleasure. I also serve as policy chair for the Florida House Democratic Caucus, which means I get to keep my toes in pretty much all the policy that's moving in the House, and that's been a great role for me as well. And I think like a value added to my constituents that I get to play a role in the policies that we get to roll out as a caucus.
Thank you. Alicia?
Well, I don't have as many good questions as but I did want to invite you. We have a book club. We meet once a month. It's called the Social Justice Book Club. And I know you're crazy busy right now, but if you ever get time and want to join in on our conversations, we meet once a month. Is it the second Tuesday of the month, Amy?
It's the first Tuesday of the month.
First Tuesday of the month, yes. And this where we in the Hate You Give, and we're inviting high school students to join in on the conversation. So yeah, we'll send you out the information, and if you're available, please join us on that conversation. But that's all I had. Did I have
well, that's plenty. We want to make sure.
I have more questions down the line for you, but that's all I have for now.
So Veronica McDonald, who was not able to make it tonight, is our legislative chair. So Alicia and Veronica just finished a workshop just a couple weeks ago at our general meeting and talked about a couple of both Senate bills and House bills. I did want to make sure they were House bills, just because I know you're sitting near your car, you don't have all your information in front of you. One of the House bills that seems, a couple of House bills that seem to be important to us as child advocates was House Bill 383. Are you familiar with that one, or did you? Okay.
I am, and I brought my copies.
Okay, great. And if you could tell us a little bit about that and kind of what your where you stand on that, and maybe how we as parent advocates can be of help.
So House Bill 383 was introduced by Representative Renee Placencia, and now it's become, there's a committee substitute. So what that means, sometimes a member will introduce a bill and it is of such great interest that the committee itself decides to take it up. So there's now a committee substitute for this bill, which I think is quite a compliment. And so House Bill 383 would require public school principals or their designee to attempt to notify a student's parent before the student is transported to a receiving facility under the Baker Act. So I know it's probably very difficult to conceptualize, especially for our parents who are out there listening and they're thinking about their own children, and should something occur, with their child's, behavior, or maybe their child's having a really bad day and they act out, but it gets escalated to the point where there's a Baker Act situation. And basically what the Baker Act means, I don't want to presume that we all know that, it's being involuntarily committed. So you're committing a patient for, I believe it is for 72 hours. I don't want to get that wrong, but it's an involuntary commitment of a person who's in crisis. And so what the practice has been before, or actually I should say currently, is that a child will be transported to a facility and then the parent is notified. So there's no opportunity for the parent to ask questions or to intervene. This bill would change that and require a notification in advance which is a far more prudent practice. And so I am in support of this bill and really hope it passes. And I think what you will see with this bill, it's already been in its first committee stop, the Early Learning and Elementary Education Subcommittee. And also let me explain this. So bills get introduced on the House side, and then they must have a companion on the Senate side, or vice versa. It doesn't matter which gets introduced first, but it has to have a companion. And once it's in the House, like we have here with this bill, it's been referred to 4 committees. So that's 4 committee stops. The committee stops are where the bills get vetted. Oftentimes they'll get amended, but they get thoroughly discussed before they are ready for a full vote of the House on the floor during legislative session. So this bill passed its first committee stop, the Early Learning and Elementary Education Subcommittee, with unanimous support. So it's bipartisan. It's such a great idea. It's long overdue. So I anticipate that this bill will pass this session, will pass on the full floor of the House.
That is great news. It's nice to hear. First of all, I love hearing that it's bipartisan. I think in the climate that it is today, it's always us versus them and Democrats versus Republicans, but it's good to hear that it's a bill that's written so well and so needed that both sides of the aisle are agreeing to it. So good news. That's wonderful. The second one was House Bill 93, and that's on the juvenile diversion program.
Yes. So this one I'm very excited about. I actually had already co-sponsored this one, but I'm glad that you put 383 on my radar also. I'd heard a little bit about it, but I'll probably go and co-sponsor that one also. But House Bill 93 was introduced by Representative David Smith. This one is the Juvenile Diversion Program expunction. And what it will do is make it, so the situation right now is if a juvenile is arrested and it's for a misdemeanor and they complete an a diversion program, that arrest can be expunged. Right now, that's a step in the right direction in terms of juvenile justice, because we know that our young people, oftentimes they're still figuring out life, learning who they are, growing into themselves, and sometimes they make mistakes. But with this bill, then a juvenile record for any non-judicial arrest, whether it's a misdemeanor or not, or something greater, that would be expunged and not follow that juvenile around. As someone who is very passionate about criminal justice reform and juvenile justice, this is an incredible move in the right direction. Frankly, I'd like to see us get there when it comes to adults as well. Sometimes people just need that hand up and that boost, and not have mistakes follow them around once they've done the work to put in their time, or take a diversionary program so they can take corrective action. So this is a very good bill. This bill was referred to 3 committees, and it has passed its first 2 committee stops with unanimous support. The last committee of reference is the Judiciary Committee, where I'm ranking member, and I anticipate that we will see this bill in committee very soon.
Again, great news. That's wonderful to hear that both these bills, because again, I'm right with you. Having a high school senior, he's been good so far, but even even with me, there's just things that sometimes you do that are just because of your age, and you never want that to follow you around for long periods of time. So awesome stuff. I'm very, very happy, and I'm thankful that it's gotten to you, because now it's in hands that we trust. So very, very neat.
Thank you. And Frank, just to your point, about the bipartisan nature of this is one of the things that this is where I think we get the best policy, right? Like when we're not retreating to our corners, when we're not digging in our heels, when we're showing the public that yes, we can work together to accomplish great things. So that's one of the aspects of these bills that I'm really excited about too.
And I'm glad you said it like that. Obviously, you're way more qualified than I am to actually say that, because you're in the battle every day. I think we need to make sure that people hear, once these bills pass, that these were bipartisan, that you are working together, because obviously the joke is always that the Democrats and Republicans can't ever work together and agree, but there is agreement, and it's hopefully common sense agreement in this case. So we need to make sure that we're celebrating everyone there for working together. Because so I do have one more that's not so much a bill, but it's something that we had the opportunity to speak with Representative Kathy Castor yesterday. And we talked about there's $221 million that's been allocated to Hillsborough County Public Schools from the federal government. It was approved in December of 2020, so not too long ago, but the funds have not been released to the county, and this monies would go towards to the schools directly, teachers, staffing, things like that. Is this something that's on your radar, or have you been able to keep up with this?
So this is my understanding is that money was given to the state government, correct? Is that the pot of money we're talking about?
Right. It's in Governor DeSantis' hand right now.
Right.
Right.
So this unfortunately is where things get a little partisan because you know, I don't, there are communities that are in need, and we know that our school district in Hillsborough County has suffered through some financial challenges over the years, and that, you know, we can't afford to play politics when it comes to our school funding, because who's hurting, right? It's our students, it's our teachers, it's, you know, our bus drivers, it's everybody who's a part of that ecosystem of our public schools in Hillsborough County. And unfortunately, we've not seen the level of transparency that we need from the governor's office in terms of where is this money and where is it being spent and why hasn't it been released? So I do think that now that we're in legislative session, though, at least I'm gonna try to hold out. Going to try to hold out that common sense will prevail as we go through the budgeting process, that those funds will finally get released. And we're constitutionally obligated to pass a budget. That's like the one thing we're constitutionally obligated to do as a legislature. And so we will pass a budget and I think ultimately see those funds being spent. But I mean, like you said, those funds were allocated last year. Here we are, we're almost done with Q1 of 2021. So it's, you know, it's unacceptable to have that lack of transparency. And I think for me, as a member of the Democratic Party, being that we're in the minority, we're the party of opposition, right? Like we're the ones who push for the accountability because we're not in power. So I feel like that's the role. And my colleagues and I are certainly doing that and have been doing that.
Sorry, wanted to take myself off of mute. I'm always worried that you're going to hear like a loud bang, a sound, an alarm, a doorbell, a dog. My son plays guitar next to me, so so anyway, thank you very much for explaining that. Again, I know I didn't kind of relay that information to you as far as that question originally, but it was something that just kind of came up to us even yesterday, and we wanted to see if you had any additional information for us on that. And we are, Amy Marie went ahead and posted the letter out yesterday, along with all the numbers for each county and how much the monies that are supposed to go to each county, and hopefully our families will start calling up to the governor's office and find out where that money is, because if it's sitting there, you know, it's not helping us.
That's right.
So, question to you now. I've asked you about a couple of bills, and of course the monies. What bills are sitting on your desk right now that that may be sitting on your desk here very soon that you're either excited about or that you really feel passionate about?
Well, thank you for that question. I do want to mention a few things. The first is that there's a bill that I view as actually really bad. It's House Bill 1. It's an anti-protester bill. It's a big priority of the governor's this year. And it was first mentioned by him in September in the midst of all the Black Lives Matter protests. And rather than try to enjoy that as a moment of the possibility for healing and coming together, trying to heal the divide, which is what I really think we need in America right now. I think there's so much more that unites us than divides us, but we have to be willing to see it. And so this legislation creates 5 new criminal penalties for protesters, as well as there's literally a defense where if you are protesting, if you're convicted of participating in a riot, which now the definition of riot is really loose, 3 or more people with the possibility of the threat of violence, which is a very squishy term. That's my legal opinion, is that that's a squishy term. What I'm worried about is if you're convicted of participating in a riot, but let's say that somebody ran you over with their car, which was some of the behavior we saw with protests, where people were running over people who were blocking traffic, that person who runs you over would be exempted from civil liability, which I think encourages vigilantism. So I'm trying to get the word out about House Bill 1 so people can take a look at it, know what's happening. You know, you can see all of these bills on the Florida House website. You can read it, you can make up your own mind. But from my perspective, it goes too far in terms of infringing on our First Amendment rights. And that's something we should all care about regardless of our party, because that's something that's guaranteed to us by the Constitution. And so we have to be really, really careful about not going outside of those guardrails. So I want people to pay attention to that one. But I'm very optimistic. There's a bill that's very Tampa focused, although it's a statewide issue. You all might remember the Tampa Bay Times did some excellent reporting in the past year or two on the Zion Cemetery, which was uncovered in Tampa, an abandoned Black cemetery. What we've learned is that there are such cemeteries all across the state of Florida. So it's a statewide issue. Senator Janet Cruz and I are working on legislation for the second term in a row, trying to get a task force together statewide to study these cemeteries and identify them and think through ways to really memorialize them in an appropriate way. So that is something that I would very much like to be a part of my legacy of my time in the Florida House. If we could do that, I think it would be fantastic.
Okay, so that was the story originated from King High School. Is that the one I'm thinking of?
Well, there's also an abandoned cemetery there. There's one under MacDill Air Force Base. Where I'm at in Tallahassee, there's one under the Capital City Golf Course. I mean, when I tell you it's statewide, it's statewide. And that history is starting to be uncovered. And why I think it's important present day is because, you know, I talk about like the healing I think that we need to do in bridging the divides. I think part of that starts with understanding what happened in the past, how those things happen, and then being educated about that so we can make different choices now in our present and for our future.
Amen. Amen to all of that. And we will keep an eye on both those, House Bill 1, and then does the other one, is it a House Bill yet, or you and Janet Cruz are still working on that?
No, it is. It's House Bill 37.
House Bill 37.
Abandoned cemeteries.
Okay, excellent. We will make note of that. So I know we have actually 4 minutes left, and we want to be respectful of your time. We know you're very, very busy. What are some effective ways that our PTA families can make their voice heard in Tallahassee?
So what I want PTA families to know is how accessible state government is to you. I didn't realize how accessible it was until I entered this role, but you should know that you can go to the Florida House website, myfloridahouse.gov, look up your state rep, look up your state senator, and if you have issues and concerns, please reach out to our office. You know, you can call your state rep or your state senator. You may not be able to speak with them because our schedules, as you can imagine, get a little crazy with committee meetings, and now we're in session. Plus, we usually have full-time jobs. You know, this is not our full-time job. Florida has a part-time legislature, but you can speak with their staff and you should make your concerns known. You should also feel free to reach out to lawmakers who may be in your area, like they may not be your lawmaker, you may not live in their district, or any members on a committee that's hearing a bill of concern to you. You should just know that your state government is extraordinarily accessible, and you should use that as a tool.
Thank you. Alicia.
So I do have a question now. Let's follow up what we spoke a couple of weeks ago. Are there any discussions on our action plans for East Tampa as it relates to all the gun violence and all the shooting? As you know, spring break is next week, and I'm really concerned how that's going to look for our Black boys.
I'm so thankful for that question. So I will tell you, even though we've been in Tallahassee for session, at least Senator Darrell Roussan, Representative Diane Hart, and I are here. We've also very much been working on this issue. And so we recently pulled together, along with Councilman Orlando Goods and School Board Member Henry Shake Washington, pushing the County Commission for more funding for Hillsborough Safe and Sound. for an evening reporting center for our youth. And that has been sponsored or supported by Commissioner Gwen Myers, as well as her colleagues on the County Commission, to look at that proposal to get more funding for Hillsborough Safe and Sound. There's also been initiatives that we've been working on to get more funding for summer jobs, because we know that, what was that, what that old saying, an idle hands are the devil's playground. Trying to give kids something productive to do to make their money, keep them off the streets during the summer. So that's an initiative that we've been working on with Career Source. Rep. Diane Hart has been really helpful with that one. So we're working together to try to do that. And then I'll tell you, I wasn't able to participate, but I know that because I was in the process of moving in Tallahassee that day, but there was recently a community event where the neighborhoods themselves are starting to come together to actually have some anti-violence initiatives. So I think it's a big problem. We have to approach it from all angles for sure.
That was a great question, Alicia. I know that's near and dear to your heart too.
It is, especially our boys, you know, myself and Jalen with Bubba, we had a boys event where we brought a bunch of the community boys and the mentors in the community out just to hang out and just, you know, have someone tell them they love them and just encourage them to do things. So it's definitely very much needed. And I appreciate all you doing to try to make the change in the community.
Absolutely. Thank you. I have two quick questions, and they're probably going to take 30 seconds to answer them. And then we're definitely going to let you go because I know you have to run. How important is it for our students to learn to advocate for themselves?
Very important. I'm going to put in a plug for the students at Wharton High School who I worked with, and they selected the environmental bill that I'm carrying this year. It is a food waste bill where you can actually take food waste, capture that, turn it into alternative fuels. For example, there are companies that are interested in doing that. You know, we met with those students, taught them about how accessible government is, and gave them the opportunity to voice their opinion. And it actually resulted in me carrying a piece of legislation. So I hope all young people know that lawmakers are accessible to them also, and that the path to running for office is accessible to them also. I'm a product of public schools, and I was able to do it. So if I can do it, you can do it too.
Those are encouraging words for all of us. They really are, though. We appreciate you saying that. And you know what, Amy Marie, we'll reach out to Wharton and maybe we'll have them on here and talk about that. The idea that they had with.
I know our high school students are just, they're a precious resource, and just giving them any mentoring opportunities but thank you for that. I'm a president of a high school PTSA, and I'm always impressed with our high school students. They're amazing.
They are.
And then last thing, and we're going to let you go there, is can people follow you on social media? How can we see what Representative Driskell is doing each and every day?
That's awesome. Yes, you absolutely can. I'm on social media, Fentrice 4FL. That's FENTRICEFORFL. So Fentrice for Florida on Twitter and Instagram. And if you do facebook.com // Fentrice 4FL, you'll find me there also. Please, follow us, stay in touch, reach out if you need anything. And we'd be happy to have you follow us and help us amplify our message as well.
Absolutely. I was sitting in a Zoom today with officials from Hillsborough County Public Library, and they had some very nice words to say about you. So I know the work that you're doing is getting through the community very well. So when I told them we were meeting with you tonight, they were very excited. So
I'm so glad to hear that. And thank you for all that you do. I mean, you have jobs as well, you know, and you have families, and you're taking time out of your lives to educate yourselves on how to be great advocates, and then to pass that on to members in your community. And I think that's when government operates the best, and that's when our communities are strongest. So I appreciate you.
We're thankful for that. I'm thankful for Alicia and Amy Marie and our whole board. I think we have a planned meeting with you a week from Monday as well, when we do our Florida legislative convention, so our conference. So we'll see you then. And Alicia, anything? No, Amy Marie, anything?
No,
Ms.
thank
Driskell?
you so much for taking your time out tonight to meet with us. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Everybody take care. Stay safe.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
All right. That's how to do a meeting in 30 minutes.
That was good.
That was great. She's so awesome. That woman is so awesome. I'm like reading all her bio. I'm like, are you kidding me?
So cool. Well, I'm glad that is who we have representing us in our, up in Tallahassee.
Yes, yes.
Amazing.
All right. For those of you still on, we have announcements. Amy Marie. Or Alicia, where'd you go? You can't hide. Alicia, you got to come back. We're going to do announcements. You're going to do them with us. It's a family affair tonight.
We have so much going on this week and this weekend. Oh my goodness.
All right. So things you need to know about Hillsborough County Council PTA. So let's see. Look, a PTA in motion virtual 5K. Amy Marie, you want to tell us about that since you are the athlete in the group?
Oh, I love this. This is so cool. So virtual 5K, anybody can sign up. It's open to the community. We're looking for local units to get at the highest participation for local units. So 199 of our local units are loaded into our member hub. So that make sure you pick, and if you have kids at 2 schools, you can pick a different percentage for each one, like 50% here and 50% there. But there's also a presidential trophy, which you see right here, for the winner, and a grant for $300 and bragging rights, which is always really nice. So of course I'm gunning for the trophy, and because I am a president and I would like that. So I challenge all of our local unit presidents to share this information and then come out on Saturday to our meetup. We have a PTA in motion meetup, which we'll talk about in a minute. So keep going.
Keep going. All right. So next thing, spring break. Oh, you need to do this one too. This is your creation.
Oh yeah. So spring break goose chase, which is a scavenger hunt. It's a fun scavenger hunt. It's a Google form, so it's super easy to use. The kids know how to use it if you don't. The whole family is welcome to join in. For every team that completes a challenge, they'll be put into a drawing for one of 5 Amazon Fire 7 tablets. So it's already actually open. But it starts March 13th and ends on March 21st at midnight. So you have all of spring break to have some fun with it. There's a lot of questions, lots of fun challenges, and find that coin from 1999. You'll load pictures in there, you'll answer questions, but it should be fun. We just wanted to do something that was a little bit more outdoorsy. So some of the stuff is outside. You can socially distance with all of it. Your team can be 1 person to 20 or 10, whatever the CDC requirements are right now. So have fun with it. And please, it's on our Facebook page, it's on our website, it's on our calendar. If you have not subscribed to the HCCPTA calendar, I suggest you run right over to our website and do that, because it'll load onto your calendar everything that's going on with HCCPTA, which is always a ton of stuff. So
it is absolutely. So, Alicia, you want to take this one?
Woo.
Yay, yes. So April 6th, our book club meeting, we are reading The Hate U Give. And for this book, we are inviting our high school students to join in and participate in the conversation. First 10 to register would get a voucher for Uber Eats to order some food while we read. So that's good. Always good to eat and read at the same time.
Or talk.
Join us April 6th at 7:30. Please register. We look forward to having all you guys join us to talk about The Hate U Give.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yes.
All right. Sorry, I had to do something real quick. You'll find out in a minute here. All right. No wardrobe change. All right.
This is exciting. This is so exciting.
Yay.
For those of us that have to write awards, that would be me. We have extended the deadline.
Darlene Martin, you're welcome.
Yes, Darlene Martin is our lovely awards chair, and I begged and pleaded, please give us some more time. And she finally relented and said March 24th. So we have all of spring break to finish these lovely write-ups. I know that we've got virtual program as one of our awards this year, which I know everybody's done some fun stuff. There's a lot of opportunity for some awards out there. So I know our local units have been hard at work. So please nominate your volunteer of the year, your Superman, whoever you got in your school that's doing great things. Please tell us about it. Everything's on our website.
If there's any year that you need to celebrate the work of your PTA, this is the year. You need to let them know how much they put in this year more than any other year. And I'm going to tell you something else. Awards that I've heard, programs that I've heard in the past, I've stole those. And hearing them here, and you go, wow, that's a great idea. We should try that. So anything that you have done at your school, put it out there. Let people know what's going on. This is a great way to share.
Yeah.
All right, so PTA in motion. So I know I'm a little late on it, but I was going to show you. I got it right here. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, there it is. The gold trophy. It's going to say Robinson High School PTSA on it.
It's really not.
It is
I don't
Robinson.
know, it might say Armwood or She High. I don't know.
Go Knights. Go Knights.
Knights already won something.
They need to win everything because they're amazing.
They're awesome.
Go big or go home, baby.
Whatever.
Yes.
All right. All right, so Saturday, Amy, or Alicia, you going to be there?
I'll be there.
Yes.
Yeah. March 13th.
I'm excited. We didn't meet last month. We had to miss
Rain.
my meetup.
All the rain.
So I'm excited about this one because I can walk, my leg is better, so I can participate. And I miss you guys. Just join us for the meetup on the 13th. If you want to talk about PTA, you want to talk about different things you're working on, or if you need some ideas on to nominate someone for those awards, Amy will be there. She's great at that stuff. So come out and join us and have fun.
We're trying to do it all over the county. So this one's in Plant City. So
Plant City.
If you are out in that area, please join us. It is Howland Lynn Brewer Park in Plant City. So
Put your strawberry shortcake down for 10 or 15 minutes and come work out with us, right?
We can go to the Strawberry Festival.
We can go after. Yeah, let's go eat
Exactly.
strawberry pie after. That's so good.
Yeah, let's just.
I'm in.
All
If
right.
it invites me, it's yes.
All right, so I'm excited for this one. It's because I heard that Jen Rogers is almost booked up for this. She has just a couple spots as of Tuesday.
Oh my
So this should be it. So if you would like to be part of this, your ESC middle school meetup, you better get on the ball really quick because as of 2 nights ago, she had 2 or 3 spots left.
Yeah. So if you have questions, you can email her at ese@hccpta.ptsa.org. Her information's on our website too, but this should be really fun. She's super excited about it. Her bi-monthly meetup is going really well. It was this past Tuesday, and she's amazing. She's full of great information and an awesome human being. So I highly suggest checking it out.
All right. So we got to meet with Representative Fentrice Driskell tonight. For those of you who don't know, this whole week has been National PTA LegCon. So we've been meeting with our U.S. senators and representatives. But this one is going to be your Florida senators and representatives and House representatives. We encourage everyone, no matter who you are, no matter if you're with a school or a PTA or not, join us for this. It's $15. And know what? Hey, did you guys see that students are free? What a great way to teach students how to advocate for themselves. So
it's amazing.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
It's a great opportunity to talk to our legislators this week. So if you have questions, you get to talk directly to them. So it's cool. It's very cool.
Yes, absolutely. I know Alicia and Veronica have set up all of our meetings for that with their different representatives. So all the heavy lifting, the hard work's done. All you have to do is register, put your $15 down, and you are ready to go. So we're excited. That's the 21st and 22nd of March. It'll be the Sunday night and the Monday morning afternoon. So please, if you want more information on this, just reach out to one of us and we'll tell you what it's all about. But it'll be a fun time and you get a chance to really, as Amy Marie said, get your voice heard.
Oh, this is
Alicia, you could take this one if you want.
Janelle's slide. This is for Janelle.
This is for Janelle. Have you paid your council dues? So Janelle Smith wants you to know that you have to pay your council dues. She wants you to know that you should have your invoices emailed to you. If you have Member Hub through Member Hub, they may be sitting at school if you're able to get there, or on your regular email. It's, I believe, 20 cents per member, so it's not too much. And this allows us to put on a lot of these shows and events and things like that for you. So we're not going to grovel, but we are going to say we really need you to pay your invoices. Your
And if
county
you
council
haven't
dues.
gotten your invoice, just reach out to our treasurer and she'll shoot it to you.
Oh, she definitely will. Absolutely.
Yeah, I will send Amy Marie to pick it up. Either way,
Well, you don't want the enforcer. So, so Darlene is not only extended the period that you can submit awards, but she is putting together the awards banquet itself. We really want to see your faces in real life. We love seeing you no matter what, but it would be a great opportunity to have everyone in the same room. Now, the good news is we are going to practice social distancing. There's going to be, is it 2 or 3 times the amount of tables this year?
2 times the amount of tables. So each table will only be 6 people per table instead of 12, but there'll be twice as much space in our facility. So it'll be, there's plenty of space. So please, if we don't sell enough tickets, we will have to cancel the event, obviously. So we won't be having an event. But so if you are thinking, yeah, you want to come, please go to our website and get your tickets now. So.
Yeah, if you've submitted awards, you better not only sign yourself up, but start hitting those schools around you to sign up so you can your awards can be seen. So, but seriously, we would love to have you out there April 15th. We want to celebrate all the achievements this year. It's a tough year. We know you've been asked to do a lot. This is a great opportunity for us to just share with each other and support each other. So please come out if you can. We'd love to have you.
Definitely.
And one more thing that's not on here because it's technically not locked up yet other than the date. So Alicia and I are working on a town hall with board member Lynn Gray. I believe it's April 12th. It's a Monday. It'll be at 6 o'clock. We are still working on if we're going to be able to do it in person. Well, for us, but so for everyone out there in virtual land, it will be live streamed.
Mhm.
And Alicia, you are the mastermind behind what we're going to talk about. Do you want to share exactly what we're going to talk about?
Sure. We're going to talk about the portfolio process and what teachers are going to be collecting for our kids to make sure they are ready and successful to move forward next year. And we also will be talking about the transition from elementary to middle school to high school, and a little conversation on high school to college or either technical schools. So it's going to be some great information given out just to prepare everyone for those next steps next year.
So Alicia, when you say transition, what exactly are you talking about?
That moving forward, that those prepare them for the next step. Elementary school, you have 1 or 2 teachers. When you get to middle school, you have like 5 or 6. Just letting parents know what that's going to look like when they're moving into a bigger school with bigger teachers, and having that conversation of what to expect, especially for our ESE kids with IEPs and 504s.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. We have a lot of parents who are concerned about when their child moves up to another school with new teachers, new administration, whether programs that have been set up, will they be followed? How does that work? So I am so thankful you came up with this idea. This was all your idea. And I think it's going to be an amazing night and a lot of great information. So that is April 12th. It will be live streamed, so you can do it from the comfort of your own room, house, in your pajamas if you want. But we are hopeful to have a great group of resources and people to give those answers to you, and we will offer a chance for you to ask questions through the chat as well. So just mark your calendars. We
actually have another event coming up with our military chair, Jennifer Sutherland. She actually works for MSEC, which is a parent educator workshop, and they help military families, military connected families, and they do a lot of workshops, but they're doing a navigating the path to college for military families. And they're doing it with Robinson High School, but it's really open to everyone. So they're going to have the Military Child Education Coalition, they'll have the MacDill School Liaison Office, they'll have a military family life counselor and representatives from the VA. They'll have lots of different information for military families. So watch for that. We'll push that out here in a bit. But she's been working hard at that. And next month is the month of the military child. So you will see lots of information coming out about that soon.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So if you joined us late and you're just catching the announcements, we actually did this backwards. We had dessert first before we had our main course. And tonight we had a very special guest and Representative Fentrice Driskell. And she had 30 minutes and she gave us all of those 30 minutes. We're so appreciative of that. And so we ask you, if you didn't get a chance to see her, to go back to this later on and watch this again. There was some House bills that we talked about, some things that she's working on personally in her job, and just talking about how we advocate for our students and our schools. So we encourage you to take some time at some point once Amy has put this onto a YouTube and watch this. And I think you will enjoy the amount of information that you get from that.
So what's next week? That's the question we all have on our minds.
So what's next week?
Spring break.
Woo-hoo!
So we are going to do next week, and what we're going to do is we're going to bring you a primer. We're going to get everyone ready for Florida LegCon. So if you are attending Florida LegCon, if you're thinking about attending Florida LegCon, if you have no idea what Florida LegCon means, tune in next Thursday. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about all the different meetings that we have set up, the House bills and the Senate bills that we really need to concentrate on. We're going to give you an opportunity to talk about what's important, things that you would like your representatives to hear about, and just have a great time talking about the best ways to communicate with our representatives. So that will be next Thursday. And then the following 2 weeks, we have the Hillsborough County Public Library is going to do a two-part series on the library itself and how it impacts their students and the amount of resources and programs it has and what it's doing now after as the pandemic hopefully is passing us a little bit. And then the following week will be on parents and the different programs for parents. There are so many programs that they do that are for free with tutoring and Wi-Fi, and there's just so much that I learned listening to them. So we have an amazing 3 weeks coming up. We're excited, and we're hopefully answering a lot of your questions.
Cool. Sounds like a lot of fun. Can't wait.
All right, Mr. Alicia, why don't you take us home tonight?
First, before we leave, I want to say happy birthday to Tonya Lewis.
Happy birthday.
With Children with a Vision. She does so much for the community. Her birthday is this weekend. Her party is tonight, and you guys got me late, but it's okay. I'm going to be there. So say happy birthday to her. And if anyone has any questions about any of the things we just shared, please reach out to myself, Amy, or Frank, and we are definitely here to support you guys.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much. Where do I hit? Oh, stop sharing here. There we go. So, all right. So for another Thursday night, thank you all for joining us. Thank you for all the work that you do each and every day. We know, regardless if we see it or not, that the work's being done out there. We're so thankful for all of our local units, and we want to celebrate you on April 15th. So make sure you do those awards, and we will see you next Thursday.
Right.
See you next Thursday.
Bye.